Ooh, bruh. Man, if you live in the, I hope you can hear me. If you live in the Midwest right now, man, you know how absolutely scorching hot it is. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, what is it right now? 90, 91. That's crazy. Hey, I'd rather it be this than be like the winter when it's super cold. I can deal with the heat, bro. I mean, sometimes it does suck, but bro, I'd rather it be this. Anywho, what's going on, y'all? This is Roddy Jr. It has been a while since I made a video, to be honest. I've done quite a few things since the last video that I made, and there really hasn't been any specific reason as to why I really haven't uploaded another like vlog type thing. But here, well, we'll get into that to the second. So really, I'm kind of just gonna go through kind of what we're working for right now and what I've been doing, what direction we're headed towards, and kind of what I'm doing with this specifically, like, my videos and whatnot, and how that's gonna go. So we're just gonna kind of just gonna roll through some of that and kind of do some explaining and whatnot, and yeah, just talk for a little bit. So first thing I want to talk about is obviously I was leading up to a competition. Um, I was doing like a weekly kind of post vlog thing, and then I kind of didn't really do anything about the competition, what happened, how it went, and I think somewhere in there, I also was like really starting to get serious into my videoing stuff and whatnot, which is kind of funny. It was like, wouldn't that mean you would have posted something? Like, it kind of doesn't really make sense, but in my head, I was like, I started focusing a lot more different stuff. But so the competition, it honestly was a perfect first meet. It was my first meet ever, my first powerlifting competition, and it couldn't have gone any better. Like, it was literally a picture perfect meet. So I did. This was like a little over like a month and a half ago now, so I don't remember everything specifically. But I know I finished third in my weight class. I went to the 90 kg, and I weighed in basically right on the dot, which is kind of crazy. I didn't have to do any kind of cut or anything. I just kind of bulked and ate like normal all the way up until the meet, and then the day of the meet, I basically really weighed in perfect as well, which is really funny. Um, but I PR'd across all lifts, so all of my third attempts were all PRs, and I hit every single one of them. Now, granted, like, I guess in the grand scheme of things, like, I hadn't been that strong yet, so like I didn't really place. In regards to the entire meet, I didn't really place really that high at all. But I had a lot of fun. That was the point. I wanted to go in and do exactly what we had planned. Have fun, have a good time. Enjoy my first time doing it, seeing what it was like, and doing it. It made me realize I was like, yeah, this is absolutely what I want to do and what I want to keep doing. I mean, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the process and growing. I grew so quickly. Like, thinking back now, um, I mean, I've only been powerlifting since, like, specifically powerlifting training since, like, I don't know, what was it, like December or something like that? I think I started sometime around December or January, like early day, like first week of January, something like that. Um, and then this powerlifting gym that I started working out at was, well, okay, so I started working out seriously like July, like last July, and then I kind of stayed with it for a little bit. And then November came, and that was when I found this new gym in Indy, the Indy City Barbell. And I ended up getting, I got a membership like that same week, and I think that following week I decided to sign up for a coaching spot to start getting coached. Um, so I mean, that was, and like I think that for those first few weeks to a month was kind of just assessing where I was at, what my skills were, and this, that, and the other. And then sometime after that, yeah, like a few weeks after that to a month, I think we decided Hey, there's this meet coming up in May, like this summer, and it was like, let's go for it. So yeah, I mean, considering I had only been powerlifting, like actual powerlifting, for about 4 to 5 months before that first competition, the numbers I was able to put up was kind of insane. I'm not gonna lie, because I put basically how much was that, man? I put about 150 pounds or so on my squat, and then I put on about 20 to 30 pounds on my bench, I believe. Let me think about this, because before I started, my max bench was like 195, 190, somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly. Um, and then on meet day, my PR number was 225, or it was 226 or something like that. So about 20 to 30 pounds on my bench, something like that. And then on my deads, I ended up putting pretty much about 25 pounds on there. And then if you see, I might even insert this clip in there, but if you see my actual third attempt for my deads, that was nowhere near where I actually well, I guess it wasn't really that far off, but like from my third attempt, you could tell I had way more in the tank, So we really put a whole bunch of numbers onto my list within a very short time frame, especially as being brand new, which was pretty incredible. So that was honestly really cool. And like I said, I had a really good time, even though it was like a small local meet. It was really fun, and I love training. So I was like, I might as well keep going with it. But yeah, so my total from that meet was about, I think it was 1,015 pounds, something like between 1,015 and 1,020. I'd have to look at it specifically to go and check. But yeah, so my top numbers were a three. It was a three. Was it 65 squat, and then a 226 bench, and then I did a 425 deadlift. So it was we set out a plan to try and hit 1,000 pound total from my first meet. I was I PR'd like every week for about 2 months on squat. Ever after I had hit 225 on squat, it was a PR for basically 2 months straight, at least. And then for bench, I think I ended up PRing within the last month or so of my prep for that. Something like that. It was about my last month or something, which was pretty cool as well, because I know bench is probably one of my lists that I hate the most, but really because I'm just still building strength on it, and it's a lot better. It's getting a lot better these days, but I know at that time, especially, I hated benching because I was like, and in comparison to my other ones where I was just like exploding on strength week to week, it was definitely some of the slow. It was like this like slower progress. And then my deads, I actually did not see a PR on my deadlift until about 3 weeks out, maybe. But that was because my deadlift PR was already high enough to the point where like I really had to work back up to it, because I think my PR at that time was already just under 400 pounds. I think it was like 390. I think it was 396 actually. It was 180 kgs, so I think it was that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it was. And then we had to kind of revamp my conventional technique, because I was basically kind of squatting into my deads, I think what it was, and I couldn't really figure out like wedging and all that. So we had to take a lot of time to really kind of relearn how to deadlift in general. Um, but yeah, so I mean, overall, like I said, I'm very happy with what happened. We grew really quickly. I mean, my body was kind of responding to it like it was the best kind of food ever. My body was exuberant to be doing what I was doing. And we were able to come out and have a good time, and yeah, do exactly what we set out to do. So the second thing that I'm kind of going to explain is like where are we going now? Um, so I don't know. I don't really think I'm going to be competing for a while, but not because I don't want to. I most certainly want to keep competing. But I talked with my coach and kind of came to the conclusion that it was like obviously we want to keep competing again and go to like the highest level possible down the road. But I think I was like, all right, I hit 1,000 pounds. I was like, I'm ready to try and get to that next level and see how much further we can continually push my strength, with actual time, because like I said before, we since I hadn't really been powerlifting for that long, I was like, I kind of want to take a block of time and just train and get bigger and get stronger. So I don't know how long that block of time is going to be. I mean, it doesn't really have to be any. I would like for it to be there. So here, I'll just say this. So like, we ended up deciding that the goal before I end up signing up for next meet was to try and get to somewhere between like I think it was what we said like a 1,200 to 1,250 total or something like that. Um, just so I add a couple hundred extra pounds on my total. That's kind of what I want to do. I was like, we're on a roll. I was like, I love competing. I was like, let's take a moment and try and just put some time into the grind and kind of see where we're going. And I'm not gonna lie, we're moving. um, my body, like I said, is kind of responding. It's just really responding really well. And I've been able to recently. I've been really locking in on my diet and trying to make sure I do all that right as well. So we're moving, and honestly, I don't see any reason to stop. At least in the any time like super near future. So we're just gonna roll with this and keep putting in the work and keep keep lifting. I literally, as soon as I'm done recording this, I'm gonna go and um, hit an upper body day for I got some bench today. Um, but yeah, like I said, man, we're looking towards just putting on more muscle, getting more strength, and just getting more practice and every day with these lifts, hitting these variations and whatnot, and kind of just getting stronger day by day. All right, so in terms of like my content and stuff, so like my YouTube, my Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot, I haven't really been posting vlogs on YouTube because I decided to really put a lot of focus in trying to do short form content. Um, that was something that I like. That's something I take in on a daily. That's where I see a lot of people in this industry, fitness industry or whatnot, doing a lot of their outreach and like their community building and whatnot. A lot of that seems to take place on short form and mostly Instagram. So I've taken a lot of time to try and get better at that, and it's I've definitely gotten better at it. I swear I'm so glad. I had to sit down with myself like back in January or February where I was like, bro, you just got to start, like, because I was kind of at that point where I was like, I want to do it. I got the camera, tripod and everything, but I just didn't know what to do, didn't know how to do it. I was seeing, the videos and whatnot that people are posting, like the way they edited, all this stuff. It was all cool stuff, and I was like, I want it to look like that, but I didn't know how to make it look like that. Um, and actually, to be honest, I probably could have started this stuff way earlier. I mean, I've had this camera. I started seriously trying to do this stuff around Christmas time, like that first week of January. But I've had this camera like longer than that. I think I've had this camera for like about 8 to 12 months prior to that. So really, I was kind of I've had it for a while, and obviously, should coulda woulda shoulda, if I wish I would have started a little bit earlier, but I did make the decision around that time. I was like, bro, look, it's going, the time, it's kind of cliche, but it's true. Like the time is gonna pass anyways. Like you might as well just start trying. And I think when Gymshark did that challenge, I forget. Oh, the 66 challenge where like they wanted you to post like once a week or something like that. that was kind of when I really started digging into it. Now, granted, I didn't really finish the challenge because I did end up missing a couple weeks here and there, but it was exactly what I needed to really get the ball rolling because I was trying to like put stuff out, put content out, start making videos and whatnot. And I've come a long way in a few months. Now granted, like I don't really have that kind of a big following. I've got a pretty small following, but it's bigger than what it was. It's almost like double what it was when I started, like back in January, February, at least on Instagram. Because on Instagram I had like it was like 50 or 60 people, and now I'm at 100, well, almost 130. Um, and I've already like made small connections here and there, or whatever. So like this is kind of how it starts, and how it builds, and it's gonna take time. But it's already been 7, 8 months or so since I've started. Like really started to pick it up, and because like I said, so it was about December, like that last week of December. It's like 6.5, 6 to 6.5, and we made like a lot of progress within that small time frame. And my videos are the quality is getting higher. I got a new lens. I was able to get the Viltrox AF 13 millimeter 1.4Z for my Nikon Z30. So my lens is like way higher quality now, and it's a ultra wide angle lens. So like I'm pretty sure you can see like the other part of this couch, or this other couch, which on my previous lens, I think like you could see me in the couch and whatnot, but it doesn't really matter. But I'm just saying like the quality has gotten better, and also my editing on the short form has gotten better, which is what I was trying to do. Um, I like there was a certain standard of editing and like quality that I would see with these people, and I wanted to get there. I was like, I want my stuff to look like that. And over a little bit of time, trying week by week, putting out videos and just editing short form stuff, figuring out how I want to shoot stuff. The mental process of like, all right, I want to film this. How am I going to film it? What kind of angles am I going to try and do? It's not perfect, obviously, but like even just trying it over this 6 months time frame, I've gotten so much better at it that now I'm actually starting to get pretty satisfied with how my stuff is looking. Like my editing is getting a lot better. The way I'm setting it up is getting easier, more natural. The way the videos are edited themselves. It's coming together, and I'm really happy because that means we're on track. I went to Houston, Texas last year. I went to Alpha Land and some other gyms and saw all these people doing what I'm doing, and like it sparked, you know, what I was wanting to do in life. And shout out to some like for example, Swole Riggett. Shout out to you, bro, because he really put me on with like just do it, bro. um, he's really been like one of my biggest influences in actually starting to do this. And the hope is that eventually when I keep getting better and keep doing it, and this, that, and the third, I'm going to be able to grow a really big community and like a big following, whatever. Be there for my people, and just add more into the industry and whatnot. So that's really what I've been doing. I've always wanted to continually put vlogs on YouTube. In fact, I think, to be honest, doing the vlogging was kind of what really made the wheels spin on like the initial want to do this stuff, because I was like, man, it'd be super cool to like make these videos, these vlogs, have the camera out and doing this kind of stuff and making these lifestyles slash gym type content vlogs and whatnot. And I kind of was started to realize like I need to build a community and put myself out there and in as many ways as possible and whatnot. So it's all really just been kind of coming together. Everything is working out, slowly but surely, and it just takes some consistency and continual effort and persistence into getting to where I'm trying to get to. So, other than that, though, I mean, that's really it. That's really kind of been the biggest updates, where I've been, where we're trying to go and whatnot, and where I'm at right now. I will. I'm not sure how much vlogging specifically I'm going to do, just because like there's so much in the short form content that I want to try and get to. I was like, it might my vlogs might become like far few in between. um, so we'll see what happens with it. Obviously, I enjoy doing it. There's no like I don't really want to or not or something like that. Like that will definitely become a staple. But this short form part is kind of what I'm building right now. I'm trying to build this community on there, mainly on Instagram and on TikTok and whatnot, and trying to just get really good at that. And eventually, I will start bringing these back into play and yeah. But other than that, like I said, we are rolling, and I'm grateful for all the things that I've been able to do so far, and grateful in the direction we're headed. So I'm very, very blessed to be in this position that I am, and yeah, I'm ready to just kind of keep it rolling. So for most of my content, definitely check out my Instagram and my TikTok. I'm gonna drop those down in the comments below or in the description below, so you'll be able to keep up with me most on there for a while. I'm probably gonna try and do a vlog video every now and then. Like maybe like a week of lifts, or maybe I'll just do singular lifts here and there. We'll see how I decide to do that. But other than that, that's it for this video, and I will see you sometime in the future. Peace.